What's going on, Outriders? At the current time of making this video, it is the glorious launch day of Outriders. I'm excited, and I decided to throw together a little beginner's guide for you. Now, if you want to beat this game in like 4 or 5 hours, I'm going to show you how. If you want to savor this and really put yourself in there, have a really good challenge, I'm going to show you how to do that too and give you some tips and tricks so it's a little bit easier. Honestly, it's just some friendly e-lube, okay? Trust me, you're going to need it. So let's start with the obvious one first. How do I beat this game in just a few hours? I'm glad you asked. Demo mentality. Don't change the world tier, ever. Yeah, don't. Keep it at world tier 5. Beat the game. That's it. That's the recipe. That's the secret. So, I honestly, like I said, I've compared this game to Diablo 3 so many times, and it still rings true. You don't basically just beat Diablo 3 on the highest torment level, right? No, you don't. You beat it on something lower, and then you upgrade as you can, and then you keep scaling. That's exactly how world tiers work in this game, for those that are familiar with Diablo 3. So as this game goes, and as you scale your world tier, it gets much more difficult. What you're currently watching on your screen is me struggling in a lower world tier, and I am underleveled and undergeared, and I am panicking. I got pushed to my spawn, and that's what it's like. So if you like a challenge, you enjoy that, you can progress through the game while keeping your world tier just scaling on up with you. I'm gonna be honest, I'd say around world tier 8, it got really hard for me. And as a solo player, somebody that feels pretty confident in his abilities, I'm completely comfortable saying that this game got really difficult at world tier 8, you know, going through the campaign. Maybe coming back after beating the game, having more resources at my disposal, it might be a little bit easier to farm and do things. But honestly, through campaign, it was rough. And I'm going to put together some little tips and tricks for you guys. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Anything that gets you loot is obviously going to be a good thing, so I recommend looking into side quests. If anything, experience is very helpful. The NPCs generally reward you with a gun of your choice or an armor piece of your choice that can really fit into your build. And, of course, keep an eye out in the little corners of all the maps. You want to loot open those chests. Not only do you get resources for them that you're going to need for mods and crafting, but also some upgrades for your gear. And yes, epics and things like that can come from the chests again. With that, bosses and captains and everything start coming out in groups, in waves. It gets a lot more difficult than what we were used to out of the demo. It's not just throw a build and just hit them. It's not predictable. It's quite challenging. So you need to be prepared for this. And with this, I want you to understand that you need to have balance in your loadout. And I recommend a long-range option like a rifle or a bolt action and an AR or something, or an LMG. SMGs and shotguns through campaign, through the story mode, are just a no-no. It is very difficult to really get anything going with them, and you got to put yourself in danger to do that. And again, with world tiers downgrading, that is not something you want. If you're continuing to scale and you're trying to get your world tier as high as you can, you don't want to be putting yourself in the position to die, because when you die, you lose progress with your world tier. Now, next up, I will recommend you guys to obviously keep the mods. Hopefully, many of you farm the demo and have a lot of these mods at your disposal, but if not, as you level up, as you rank up, and you get higher ranked and higher armor, I want to make sure that you learn the mod system and import whatever build you're comfortable with. Like, for example, I basically ran through the end game with the Blighted Rounds build. Same build that we were familiar with, the infinite ammo one from the demo. And with that build, I would just make sure I had that mod on the gloves, and I could just keep running it over and over and over again. So whenever I went up a level, I got a little higher pair of gloves, I just take that mod, slap it on the new pair. When I got another pair and I ranked up again, did it all over again. Keep growing and keep working with that mentality. So use those mods as you go. Again, you don't really have to worry about it too much if you're just beating the game on world tier 5, but if you're trying to scale and push yourself and challenge yourself, this is going to be huge. Now, I saved the best two for last, in my opinion. Pacing is huge. Now, I know this sounds like a really weird bit of advice, but pacing is massive. Again, you are punished severely for when you die, and it's a very slow progress, just very slow progress when you try to rank up your world tier. So, do not die. And that means don't be afraid to take your time. That you're not in a race. Sit back, use those snipers, do what you gotta do, don't get overly aggressive. A lot of times I will move forward to activate the enemies and fall back to the previous room. Don't be afraid to play smart and pace yourself. Last on the list is also, and this doesn't mean you're weak, okay? Don't be afraid to drop your world tier. Certain bosses are a pain in the ass. Certain enemies, I don't want to spoil anything, but there might be some times where you're just not matched well against certain species or enemies or something, right? And don't be afraid, because on the fly, you could drop your world tier. If you find that you die, don't die just trying to beat something 10 times in a row like some dumb people. Go ahead, drop your world tier 1 or 2, get comfortable, beat that area, put it back up if you want. It's seamless. Just do it as you will. And that is my advice for you. Don't be stubborn. Don't lose all that experience. Pace yourself. And don't be afraid to downgrade your world tier, even if it is just temporary. But that's the video, guys. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks for clicking on this one. If you guys haven't yet, consider subscribing, take that notification bell, and leave a thumbs up as it helps the video get out there. So thank you again, guys. I'll catch you in a live stream soon. Get your expedition and your grind on with us. Come on through. Take care, everybody. Good luck out there.